Welcome back to Sailing Remission, and welcome to our Season NZ for New Zealand. Now, this season is going to be a little bit different. We won't be sailing, unfortunately. We are here in New Zealand until at least mid-May. We've had to come down here to escape the cyclone belt, which is okay. We get a chance to really explore this island, well, these islands, and we'll spend at least 3 months away from Remission just exploring see what's out there. A lot of great natural beauty in this island. The people are fantastic. We really can't wait. We did spend about 6 weeks back home visiting family and friends and had a great time, but now it's time to get exploring New Zealand. But we have a lot of boat work to be done. Now, before we left, last time you saw us, we were on the hard. We had just been hauled out, and we're getting some work done there, but we're also going to have a lot of work done. We've had a lot done while we were gone. So we're going to show you a full listing of all the work that we got to do and what's already been done. Okay, here we go. We got a lot of stuff on my list. I mean, holy crap, it takes up a full page. We're going to break this down. We're going to start at the top and work our way down. And things that we'd like to have done, our wish list, things that have to be done, and things. I'll show you some stuff that's already been done while we were gone. So we'll start off with up here. The first thing we've already had done is we've had that sail bag repaired. Remember how absolutely ugly that was? It tore completely right there. And then we also had the jack lines. They're the lines that hold the sail bag up so that the sail can fit inside there. We've had those replaced. Well, not replaced, but repaired. So that's completely done. That was a big one that had to be done, but doesn't that look pretty? All right, another thing we did is just wearing out. Our Dodger that's our Dodger here, and that was getting pretty oxidated. So we have a sail maker right over there, and we took in all the isinglass, and they cleaned it up for us really well. They have some special materials that will do that. Did a great job. Then also we had a lot of tears in our cover, and again, the same place, we took it in and had them double stitch everywhere. You can really see how it's just kind of wore through. So they did a double stitch on everything, and hopefully it will last us more than just the 3 years that we've already got into it. So that was an important one. Not a big one, but an important one. Another thing that we wish to have done, and luckily we could, since if you remember in the last episode, things had changed and we ended up staying in the hard longer than we expected. And I was able to get the entire boat all waxed. So they wax and detail the entire boat for us. And what they do is they actually take a little acid bath to it and pull off all the grime and oxidation that was on there, buff it out, and put the wax on it. Much bigger job than something I could have done. It was nice because I was able to get the underside hulls and everything while we were out. So it was another big job, one that we weren't expecting to get done, but we were glad that we could. Things that we have to have done up here is this solar panel. You can see she's got big delamination. Here's a bad spot. Here's another bad spot. We've actually disconnected that entire panel already, and we've got a replacement for it. So we're going to have that replaced and put it in. That's going to give us, that's about probably a 70-watt panel. So that'll give us a little bit extra. Other solar repairs that we needed is kind of a big job, and they've started on it, but they haven't finished. Is we had 2 big solar panels put in right there. Good morning. So we had those put in during our refit when we were down in Florida when we had the lithium upgrades. They put in about 850 watts. And in between the 2 panels was where we had the Starlink. Well, kind of a waste of space. So we're having 2 larger panels put in. It's going to give us over, rated 1090. So another couple 200 watts of solar, which I don't know if you don't think that's much. Believe me, that's a lot. And we're moving the Starlink from the middle, and we've had this archway right there installed. They welded that on, and they're going to put the Starlink there, and so that we'll get bigger panels in. And the nice thing about these panels is they're called bioreflective panels. So the underneath the main panels also has solar on it. So anything that will deflect up from the water, any sun rays or something will deflect from the water, will actually give us a little more. So we've actually going to, instead of going to 200 to 300, we might even get as many as 400 more watts. Plus with the extra 70 watts here, that's going to be a nice upgrade, because we just running low all the time on power, and you can never have too much solar. All right, so I think, other things up. You can see we've got everything laid out for all the repairs that we're doing. We're just got to find spaces for them. But here's another one that we already had done. Oh, let me just see. All right, so in the anchor locker, right there, we've had a freshwater rinse hose set up, because our anchor, it sits in the water all the time, and the galvanization is just killed from that salt water. You can see on the anchor the rust there. So what this is going to let us do, one, we can wash off the front of the deck really easy, but two, every time we bring up the anchor, we're going to spray it with fresh water as it's coming up to get some of that salt off, and hopefully it will help increase the life of our anchor chain. I've seen people spend as much as $30,000 on getting new stainless steel anchor chain because they let their galvanized get bad. So I know it's been 3 years. We've got some damage on there, but it's actually pretty minimal. So I think that's going to make a big difference up here. Again, not a big project, but one that's well worth having done. So let me check to see what else I got on my list, if there's anything else up here that needs to be done. Oh, there is. All right, let me put this down. Again, this next one was it's not a big job. It's not done yet, but I wanted to put on the boom there our Sailing Remission YouTube logo. So for Christmas, Rags, my daughter, she gave us, the lettering, the vinyl lettering to put up there. I haven't done it yet. You know me, I'm not the handiest guy, but I'll figure out and get that put up there. We had talked to a guy here that's his job, and twice I talked to him, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'll get over and get a quote." Never did, and so I'm glad that Rags, really helped us out there. So I think that is it for top. Oh, no, it's not. Still got another two for topside. One of the things we're doing, and we've got it done in the cockpit, and I'll show you that in a bit, is putting up security cameras, plus that spreader right there. I don't know if you can really see, there's a blue tape there. Well, anyways, on that spreader we are installing a camera. So I've got, when I'm at the helm over here, I have got no visual on the port side of the boat. So we're coming into a dock, whether going forwards or backwards, I can't see it. I've got to rely on Cindy to tell me how far we are and stuff. And it's, docking is a very stressful time for both me and for Cindy. And, and I need to know, okay, how far we are all the time, how far the bow, the side, the middle, the stern is from the thing. And so, but she's got to also worry about the lines and the line handlers and all that. So it's very stressful, and we don't really, it's caused more problems. So I'm having this camera installed, and that way I'll be able to look at my phone as I'm docking, and I could see straight down to the side, so I know in real time, you know, how much clearance I have. I think it's going to make a big difference. And then the last thing that I can think of is way up at the top of the mast. When we come into ports, we have found a couple times that, you know, we can't communicate with, you know, customs or the marinas or so until we get really close. So I'm kind of thinking, you know, we're having a problem with our transmissions. If you you can't really see, I know you'll never see on this thing, but there are two antennas up there. Now we have both an AIS antenna and a VHF antenna. And what the problem is they are too close together. They should be a meter apart. Now there's not really a meter up there. So we're going to have a rigger come out, test them, and see if he can, you know, build something to get the two antennas a little bit further apart so they don't interfere with each other, because it can be frustrating coming in to port, not being able to reach them until we're right here. And we're also thinking that might, you know, interfere with our AIS going out. I know coming in, some people we don't see until they're really close. Now that might be their transmission, I don't know, but we're gonna have it tested and find out. Okay, and here's a upgrade I hate to do. We have our tender here, which is really a nice tender for Cindy and I. When it's just the two of us, it's fast, it's convenient, it's comfortable, but we have any guests on board and it doesn't work real well. It's only got a 15 horsepower engine and it's a low profile. We once had 8 of us in there and hit a few waves. I made everybody jump out of the boat because we were taking on water. In fact, thank goodness Rags was with us, because my brother-in-law's brother-in-law, he just about drowned because of the waves were so big. Not a strong swimmer, and Rags saved him. So unfortunately we got to get rid of that, which, yeah, that was a $25,000 tender 3 years ago, and I don't even know if we'll get anything for it. And a new tender here is going to be about $15,000. But yeah, we got to make it, because also, you know, when we go scuba diving, there's no really good spot to put tanks in there. And again, once you add all that extra weight and any other extra people, it just doesn't work well. So that has to be done. And then on top of that, since we have to get a new tender, their bottoms won't be the same. So we have to have those supports modified. I got a quote on that, and that was over $1,000. So it just keeps adding up. Okay. One of the things I like to see is, while I'm doing my videos, she's doing the work.
I'm not going to give you the finger.
Oh. All right. One of the other things we've already had done is, like I said, we put in security cameras here. Originally, when we did our refit in Florida, we tried putting security in, and they didn't know what they were doing. So these ones are actually, we've got 2 cameras that covers the entire cockpit, and what we'll do is it's kind of like a ring system where it will go right to my phone. So anytime we're away from the boat and somebody were to board, it'll automatically ping me and let me know somebody's here. So I think that's going to just give us some peace of mind. Okay, I'm now down in the port engine bay. We've had quite a few things done in here. One, we've had the engine serviced, and actually, I don't want to try to find it and show you, but we actually had to have on both engines water pumps replaced. They just gotten, you know, they were raw water pumps, you know, bring in seawater to help cool the engines. Well, they were getting corroded. So we got those replaced. And then here is kind of my pride and joy. We got a new low pressure pump for the water maker. The old pump was set for 60 hertz, which was the original setup. And then we put in the lithium bank, and it would switch to 50 hertz, and it just didn't work. We had so many problems. We've actually had 2 pumps, and the second one was starting to fail. It would overheat all the time because of the wrong voltage. So we finally got this one done. It's a massive pump, so hopefully being new, she'll work. Also, another thing down here is, you see all this storage stuff? those used to be where my AGM batteries were. We had about 560 watts of AGM that ran our 110 system, and it would just drain every night because it ran the 110 and things would run all night on the 110 system. It would drag down our lithium system. Maybe 2,000 amp hours on the lithium, but this would drag down, and that was powered by the lithium. So we've got those replaced. We've added 600 amp hours. They took them out of here and put them in one of the cabins, just to keep them away from water. So we really won't find out how much more efficient this is, but the AGMs like I said, they drained so fast, and I had to have them recharged every night. It got to the point where I was actually having to turn off all our power at night in order to save it. Another cute little thing that we had done down here is we had this extra battery. I bought this all the way back in St. Thomas, thinking that I needed it for the generator, because we had problems back then. Well, it wasn't, so it just kind of sat around. So the guy installed it to be a separate starter battery just for this engine. And that we had one starter battery for both engines. Now we've got twice the power, and it was just sitting there. So why not? The last thing down in this engine bay I had done was just a little thing. Is I had these two valves put in that now shuts off to. Well, you can't really see it. We got water there, and also water here and here. So it makes it an easy shut off valve, because we've had those leak before. So now I can go down here, I can isolate each one rather than having to shut off the entire water. Plus the final thing we did right here is we Andrew proofed my water line. You see there, got a right angle valve on that to get it so it wasn't going. It used to go across here. Well, my buddy Andrew decided, oh, that looks like a good handhold, and broke it off for me. So now, if Andrew, you come back aboard, I think you'll know that's not a handhold. I hope he's still talking to me after this. Let's see what else is going on down here. When we originally bought Remission, in our options list, we had a choice of going a 240 international boat or a 110 US boat. And since we had a bunch of 110 appliances, and we figured eventually we would get back to these states, and that's probably where we would sell the boat when we finally retire from sailing, that a 110 was the way to go. So we could only go into marinas that had 110 power, which is the US basically. And every now and then there would be a marina that would have a transformer, like in Tahiti. They had a transformer the first time. The second time it wouldn't work. So that wasn't always wasn't able to do. So we decided to put in a second 240 system. So now we have the original 110, and now we got a 240 volt. This allows us to be hooked up to power anywhere in the world. So while we're here for 6 months, it's nice that I don't have to rely on my solar, especially since, about half of it's not even hooked up right now. So we don't have to worry about power so much anymore. Okay, another repair which has been a sore subject and still not done, I don't know what they're taking so long on this, is the winch repair. You see, we had to have that winch, which you've seen in several videos. It's been really a pain. I've ordered 3 of them, got the wrong one each time. Finally I decided, okay, I'm just going to have the inner spindle machine shopped, and so that it will match exactly with the one that's broken. Still waiting on that to get done, but hopefully soon. At least hopefully before we leave. We still got a couple more months here. Let's see. We also had to have the generator worked on again. Again, we had the maintenance, just regular maintenance done, but he did find a leak in it, and so they actually had to pull it out, fix the leak, and then put a new mount on it, because one of the new mounts had rusted through it. I'm sure it's because of all the seawater that was going along it, and it just rusted through it. So that's done. First thing we did have done is we've had on our inverter, it kept blowing out a fuse, and weren't able to get the right fuse in. So here we had the Marine Electronics. They're actually a Victron dealer, and he knew exactly what the problem was, got us a new fuse, fixed the problem, and so far that fuse has always held. It was kind of like a backup fuse, you know, but now that it's fixed, I don't have to worry about that anymore. Oh, our sail from hell. It's got some little pinpoint holes in it and stuff. I don't know if we'll ever use that, so I haven't decided to pull it out because it's buried in the sail locker. Pull it out and have it worked on. I mean, it's something that I could do, but it's such a big sail, and having to find a big, you know, area to lay it out and fix it would be a lot harder than just taking it to the sail locker and having them lay it out on their workspace and doing it. Plus, those are the one guys here in New Zealand that do an honest day's work for an honest day's price. They don't overcharge like well, everything else that is here. We did have our sail arch welded. You know, back in Tonga, we had a leak where the water would go into the arch and it just rusted through basically. And so they did, while we're on the hard, they went ahead and re-welded it and sewed up all the holes on there. Alright, I think that's everything that we have to have done. Think it's enough? I think it's enough. So, a lot of work already been done, a lot of work gonna be done, and a lot of money going out. But again, this is our home. We want to make it as comfortable and as efficient as possible. So that's where we're at on repairs. I think we don't need any more. You know what the biggest difference between men and women are? When a woman says, "Smell this," it actually smells nice. I guess when you're attracted to both men and women and neither is attracted to you, you're just by yourself.